Welcome to Philadelphia, everyone, as the 76ers get ready to defend home court in the Eastern Conference. It's Wednesday Night Basketball, live on 2K Sports. Hi, everyone. This is Kevin Harlan. In the booth, as always, with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And now we take a brief check. A minute 42 left here in the opening quarter. Here's Mr. Clutch. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. Already it's February. Let's see how the East is matching up. Taking a look at Orlando. It's been a rough season for them. The good news is the lottery is only a couple months away. And, of course, Philadelphia, right behind them, just one spot down.
Well, looking at Orlando, they've proven they have a long way to go if they're going to be a competitive team in this league.
And even if they weren't expected to play at a high level this year, I think most people felt they were capable of being better than what they're showing right now.
Oladipo, the pass to Price. Dedmon, guarded by Sims, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Obvious foul.
Yeah, he took a hit right there and earned those free throws.
And let's get your take, guys, on the scoring breakdown for the Magic.
A lot of success from mid-range so far for them, guys. If nothing else works, they can always fall back on the jump shot.
And they're also showing some muscle here in the first half, finding a lot of points in the paint area.
Magic leading by 10. Harkless with it, now defended by Sims.
Looked to me like the defender didn't get squared up and get his feet set.
Good work by the officials. A nice call. That play can be tough to judge sometimes.
The Magic shooting their 7th and 8th attempts at the foul line tonight.
And for the season, guys, they're about 73% from the line, so kind of a mediocre shooting club.
You know, they've really put themselves behind the 8 ball in so many of their games because they just have not been able to knock down those foul shots. You see their early fouls here? They're having an impact so far.
Here's Mr. Clutch, guarded by Price. Here's Mr. Clutch. Another miss by Philadelphia.
You just assume he's going to knock those down when he's as open as he was there. They've made one basket after another since getting this game started, and you wonder, is the blowout in store?
Too early to say that and go there, Steve, but it has been pretty ugly so far. That time the defenders were a little lazy getting to him.
And it's Orlando's ball. They lead by 11. Defeated by the Wizards in their last game, they'll try to put that one behind them.
And I think the sort of issues they had on defense, in part at least, was a bigger factor. Really compounded, I think, because it was on the road. You have to be sharper when you go out and play as a visitor.
Yeah, everything has to be tight. You can't be loose in any aspect of your game. You're fighting against the crowd and the opponent. You've got to be tougher mentally and physically if you're going to win on the road.
That's good. Mr. Clutch has got 5 now.
That's exactly what they had in mind on that possession.
And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
Yeah, the defender draped all over him.
Pretty plain and simple. Got him good there.
The Magic have scored 6 points from their 8 attempts at the line so far. And the first one drops. And Philadelphia making a change here. Both free throws good from Oladipo. Here's Mr. Clutch. Can't connect from long distance. So as we end the first quarter, already a double-digit ball game. Magic lead by 13. Live from Philadelphia, you're watching 2K Sports. And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And for the Magic here, they've been putting on a show, guys.
And they're really keying in on getting as many good shots inside the lane as possible. They're doing a nice job of not just settling for outside looks.
Yep, I agree. I mean, they're working it inside and doing it with intention and purpose.
So on the floor for Orlando, Nicholson is the 4 with Vucevic at the 5. At the 2 and 3, it's Oladipo and Tobias Harris. And it's Moore in at the point. From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Thanks, guys. Mr. Clutch Clutch in their last game against the Bucks put on a show. He finished with 28 points, and along with what he did on the offensive end, he also played some stellar defense as well. A truly dominating game from him in what was hopefully a sign of things to come. At least that's how the franchise is thinking, guys.
All right, Doris. Well, what do you guys think? Does that kind of big performance energize a player in his next game, or has it, like Steve, you begin taking a toll physically?
I think it just depends on the individual, Kevin. Probably depends on, how he's feeling physically overall. But usually a guy who has a big night like that, it's going to carry over just the confidence. It'll carry to the next game.
Yeah, I would not disagree with you there, Steve. There's something about confidence in this game that really fuels you and energizes you. When you've performed well, then you feel like you can do it again and again and again.
He's made one and missed one so far in the game.
76% of the stripe for him to this point of the season.
Jameer Nelson's checked in for more. Orlando leading by 13. Nelson kicks to Harris. The pass to Nicholson. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. Harris has got 3 assists tonight.
Great interplay there between those two teammates.
Well, it was rather on the down low, but a very nice rookie season for 6'9" big man Andrew Nicholson out of St. Bonaventure. He didn't start playing basketball until the 11th grade, guys, but you'd never guess it from his well-rounded offensive skill set.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Well, over that break, I listened in on what head coach for the Magic was getting across in the huddle. He mentioned defensive strategy right away. He wants fewer bodies in the paint and more on the perimeter to contest those perimeter jump shots. He also told them to get tough. He said, let's make this one a very physical game. So, Kevin, change is already being made on the fly here in the second quarter.
Thanks again, Doris. And Clark, you mentioned the offensive gifts of Andrew Nicholson. Range on his jump shot, an array of moves inside. He comprises a nice little package.
Yeah, he's going to be an interesting player. Very creative offensively. He's got a soft touch with that jump hook, and you mentioned the ability to shoot from range.
And there's a whistle. That goes on Mr. Clutch. That is his first foul of the game. The Magic making a switch here. And we're now a little over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Here's Vucevic. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against the Wizards in Washington. That drops. Aflalo's got his second basket. The 76ers trail by 11. Kicks it to Carter Williams. Down low to the paint. Makes it off the glass.
They really aren't putting up any resistance on the low block. That's the 5th consecutive basket inside.
And Steve, these looks they're allowing are almost automatic.
Nelson kicks to Harris. Harris gets the screen from Vucevic. Harris inside. Young's there. Vucevic with the bucket.
The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening, Steve.
No, it's off the charts. It really is. And defensively, they have to start shutting down some of those lanes to the hoop.
Here's Sims. He's covered by Vucevic. The shot's good from Sims.
You can give a defender a lot of trouble if you're consistent with that turnaround jumper. It's almost impossible to block.
Nelson kicks to Harris. Nelson sets a screen for Harris. Pass to Aflalo. Shot clock at 6. Here's Vucevic. Rejected by Young. Carter Williams with it. He's picked up by Lamb. Here's Mr. Clutch. He's coming off a 28-point game against Milwaukee.
And Kevin, a lot of those points came at the line. So he was very aggressive with his game, attacking the D and capitalizing on those free throws.
He's really stepped it up this quarter. Looks like he's determined to get them out of this hole all by himself.
Now a timeout called by Orlando. Their last encounter was in Philadelphia, where they were able to handle the 76ers.
And the physical nature of their last meeting was just as they had hoped for. They drew a ton of fouls in that game and went on to win it.
Feeds it to Price. Harkless dishes to Price. Pass to O'Quinn. Just 5 on the clock. Orlando needs to get off a shot. Fires from the wing. And Lamb with the basket on the assist by Mo Harkless. And I want to hear your take on what Steve was just talking about, Clark. How big a role do you think foul trouble played in that win?
Yeah, it was large, humongous, I think, because of the foul trouble. That forced them to use lineups down the stretch that they weren't really comfortable with. So it was a big, big factor.
Looking at Philadelphia, they want to turn it around after the loss to the Milwaukee Bucks.
That was a tough game for them to lose, guys, because they really played well throughout the game.
I agree there, but despite the result, I think they can definitely take some positives away from it.
And the shot is good.
Boy, nice work inside. Tough to get that shot over a big defender like that.
No, that takes skill and creativity, Steve, particularly on the release to make sure he doesn't get a hand on it. Took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on him.
Magic leading by 6. The shot and game clock separated by 4. Price kicks to Harkless. Back to Price. Puts up a 3. That is good. Price has got 5 points so far. Here's Mr. Clutch. Steps back and fires. Off the left rim and out. And so that's the end of the first half. Magic out in front, up by 9. And now we'll send it down to Doris.
Well, Nick, you guys had a strong...
Now, presented by Sprint.
It's Wednesday.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back, everyone. We're ready to get going again as this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports continues. Players are topped off with Gatorade, hydrated, and ready to get going again as well. What can you say, Mr. Clutch? An impressive effort here today.
Yeah, he played a very mature first half offensively, just finding gaps and making good decisions, getting into the defense and knocking down shots.
Well, the way he played that first half, that's exactly what we're talking about when we say offensive efficiency.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. Taking a look at the 76ers, Mr. Clutch in at point guard. Young out there with Byron Mullins. Then there's Richardson, and it's Jackson in at the 3 slot.
What a breakout year for Vucevic, who was given the chance to start for the Magic, and he showed that he belonged in a starting 5. Just a really good gamble on a player, and the big fella looks to be an impact player for them for the foreseeable future. They've been good on all 3 of their shots since coming out of the locker room at the break.
Here's Mr. Clutch, guarded by Nelson. Mr. Clutch, the pass to Mullins. Doubled by Afflalo. And stolen by Afflalo. And here we go. Harris heading to the hoop. Throws down the breakaway jam.
I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen throughout. Just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively turning into quick points.
And that's not going to be able to continue if they hope to get back into this game, Clark. It's a deflating play for your morale.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Hey, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Brett Brown as he addressed his team. He said, now's the time to open things up. Let's start firing away and get that defense on the ropes. Coach was not wasting any time in altering their strategy here in the second half. And Kevin, he's going to have to hope those changes take effect quickly.
Thanks, Doris. And for Vucevic, in his second season in the league, 4th in voting last season for the most improved player, and I couldn't disagree, Clark.
I would not either, Kevin, and you've got to like his defensive potential. He's 7 feet tall, and he's got a 7'4" wingspan, so he can help provide all kind of protection around the rim, and, you know, he's got an excellent motor, too. He makes the most of his imposing frame. I like what this guy has been and could become.
The 76ers have shot 75% at the stripe, 6 of 8.
When you're hot, and that's certainly been the case for Mr. Clutch. He has 23 points, and he's done his job at the charity stripe. He's gotten 4 of his points from there.
And that's a good place to get them. You know, they don't come easier than that, but you've got to get yourself there first.
Harris dishes to Nelson. Back to Harris. There's the 3. The basket good off the assist from Nelson. Harris has got 5 points now this quarter.
He's created some good opportunities for himself and made the most of them.
Mullins passes to Mr. Clutch. Doubled by Afflalo. Richardson, good. Richardson's got his first bucket of the night.
He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
All right, a chance to check out some stats for Tobias Harris. Over the last month, making major contributions. He's averaging 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. He's been a rock in the middle for them over that stretch of games, dominating the glass in his trademark fashion.
Yeah, and all the rebounds he's been getting in those games have had a cumulative effect on the opponent. I mean, he'll wear you down physically and mentally with that rebounding work. Well, they're fortunate. The defense was taking a big chance leaving him that wide open behind the arc.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Well, over that break, I listened in on what head coach for the Magic was getting across in the huddle. He told the huddle they need to go hard to the hoop whenever possible to either draw fouls or get high percentage looks right at the 10. Perhaps the rest of the second half will look different after those adjustments, Kevin.
All right, Doris. And Oladipo kicks to Nicholson. That's good. Nicholson's got 12 points in the game.
And that assist earned him a little nod from his teammate after the basket.
Young passes to Mr. Clutch. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Nice work to get inside and draw the foul.
Yeah, it's obvious. The defense not going to allow many easy layups. They're going to make you earn it from the line.
The 76ers have made their free throws at a pretty good clip. They've hit 8 of 10. So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Both free throws good for Mr. Clutch.
They're locked in from the charity stripe this half. Not a miss yet.
And they're going to have to continue that pace, Clark, because they're down, and anytime you're losing, you got to take advantage of every offensive opportunity you have.
The kick out to Anderson. Here's Mr. Clutch. He's covered by Moore. Philadelphia moving the ball around. Beasley. Another miss by Philadelphia.
Well, they'll give him that shot. He doesn't have the most reliable jump shot in the world. We know that.
Moore dishes to Harris. And the officials signal the backcourt violation. Not very careful there. Let's take a look at some of the leaders of the NBA. These point guards have been shooting lights out during the last month. Second, Michael Carter-Williams.
Some remarkable shooters in that group, guys. And you know that when you're seeing those types of numbers at the point guard position, you're talking about some very intelligent, patient players.
Precisely. I mean, when you watch any of them, nothing's forced. I mean, it's good, smart shot selection, simple basketball. But that being said, don't take anything away from their natural ability to flat out bury that jumper. They can do that too.
Price kicks to Harris. From outside the arc, that's good. Harris has got 14 points for the game.
They've stepped up their three-point shooting game in the second half. They're letting it fly out there with reckless abandon.
Now they're feeling confident, and they're in a good flow offensively, so why not just keep firing from out there?
Nice pass. He got the ball right into his teammate's shooting pocket. On time and on target.
Price kicks to Oladipo. Oladipo off the pick from Vucevic. There's the dish to Harris. Now here's Oladipo. Tight defense on him. Offensive rebound. And here's Beasley. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. 6-second difference between the shot and game clock. Carter-Williams, the pass to Mr. Clutch. From past the arc. Rebound by Oladipo. He dishes it to Harkless. That's good. And the Magic lead by 13.
Excellent execution of the plan there.
Here's Carter-Williams, and it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. And here at the end of the third quarter, and as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. And, Steve, we've got a moment here to go to our State Farm assist of the game, coming on some very clever point guard play.
Well, he mans that position for a reason, Kevin, because he passes the ball so well, sets up his teammates beautifully, really gets this offense into a nice rhythm.
Delivering the pass important, but putting the pass in the right place for a shooter is, as you well know, huge.
Yep, no question.
Fourth quarter on the floor for the Magic. Nicholson is the 4 with Vucevic at the 5. Nelson is out there with Deron Lamb, and it's Afflalo in at the small forward spot.
That lead pass allowed him to get straight to the hoop without losing any momentum.
And here's the break. It's stolen by Lamb. Now the fast break. Lamb with the ball. Finished off the break. And taking a quick look here at the hustle stats for the Magic.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ball game.
And I'll tell you, the other thing that's been a factor is the transition game. They're scoring a lot of points on the fast break.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Thaddeus Young last season stepping into the full-time power forward role for the Sixers. It's kind of a mismatch waiting to happen because he's undersized at 6'8", but way too quick for most of the guys guarding him.
The first free throw is good. And for Thaddeus Young, with the league going more towards quickness and mobility, Clark, that's certainly going to fit his strengths well.
That is absolutely right. He's not a really strong rebounder. His lack of size does make him vulnerable to post up, but he's one of the best slashers in the game. In the end, the mismatches tend to usually play out in his favor.
The 76ers trail by 14. To the inside, Mullins. Out of bounds, Orlando takes possession. Moment to see how the schedule is looking for Philadelphia. The Wizards on the road to face them after this game. And that game concludes a 5-game homestand.
Tell you what, there'll be a lot of focus on that Oklahoma City contest.
And Afflalo kicks to Nelson. Inside, and that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Philadelphia's gone 5 of 10 from downtown tonight. 50% exactly. No good from Mr. Clutch.
And that'll increase their rebound advantage. They've definitely been winning that battle on the boards.
Well, the main thing is they haven't allowed many second chance opportunities. And that is always going to allow you to maintain your lead.
Kept alive. Vucevic. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
And as rebounders go, guys, he is amazingly active on the boards. Relentless. And it serves 2 purposes. One, I mean, it gets him a lot of rebounds, of course, but 2, it takes a lot of toll on the opposition. He'll wear you down.
And, you know, the thing he might do better than anything else, guys, is bang the offensive glass. I mean, he really works hard at that.
Tobias Harris is checked in for more. Another miss by Philadelphia. Magic leading by 18. Here's Nelson. That one goes. Count it.
And another gap in the defense found right there. This is one of the worst defensive performances I have ever seen.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
They got to find something. You're right. Mr. Clutch, the pass to Jackson. Richardson for 3, and out of bounds as the Magic will gain possession. And upcoming the schedule for the Orlando Magic. When this game is done, they'll be off to Miami to take on the Heat. And that will conclude a 4-game road trip. Just a little under 2.5 minutes have passed now here in the 4th. Nelson kicks to Harris. Back to Nelson. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. It's on Thaddeus Young.
Really was a very strong season, guys, for Jameer Nelson as he bounced back in a big way. You know, he got his scoring up and was acting as a playmaker at a much higher level than what we were accustomed to seeing from him.
Both free throws good for Nelson. Clark, you just mentioned the uptick in assists for Jameer Nelson. He's the Magic's franchise record holder and assistee with over 3,000.
You know, I would have guessed that Scott Skiles had more than that.
Me too.
Skiles had so many back in the day, but it just shows you the consistency and the production that Nelson has given that team over almost a decade now.
Dishes to Afflalo. That 3 off the mark. The 76ers trail by 20. Jackson down low, guarded by Harris. Here's Mr. Clutch. Back to Jackson, all alone. Jackson missing again.
You know, he just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics, at least as I look at it.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Hey, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Brett Brown as he addressed his team. He'd like them to better establish the transition game, to pick up the tempo and put pressure on the defense in the open floor. He also wants his players putting pressure on the defense with early offense, lots of shots, and an aggressive approach in general whenever they've got the ball. A few late-on-the-fly adjustments as the situation gets more desperate for them. It's going to be a tough hill to climb, guys.
Thank you, Doris. That is good.
You know, he's knocking down his shots today, but it hasn't really translated to the scoreboard yet.
Time called here. The Magic decide to talk it over.
Well, he's got to get everybody on the same page. I mean, that's the reason for this timeout. And if that happens, I think they can improve and start playing better.
You know, it's a coach's job to always try to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of the opponent and to look for that extra edge if you can. And I think he feels like he might have seen one.
You'd expect him to nail that one being that close to the hoop.
Young sets a screen for Jackson. Richardson for 3. Can't hit. And Orlando will come the other way.
He's killing them with his poor shooting. The defense is more than willing to give him those shots now.
Nelson with it. Now guarded by Mr. Clutch. Harris misses. The 76ers trailed by 18. Doubled by Afflalo. Mr. Clutch, the pass to Jackson. Off target with his 3.
Well, an 8-rebound advantage like the one they have now is always going to swing the score hard in that team's direction.
And that's certainly been the case today. Their rebounding has made a huge difference.
And so here we go, just rolling along to the finish line in what has been a very confident-looking performance for Orlando.
Clark, they simply ran him off the court.
It was all about the transition game. Fast break points, the difference.
And so this is going to end up as victory number 24 on the year.
And in what's been a very competitive series between these two teams, the victory here tonight will push their record to 2-1 with 1 left to play against the 76ers.
Well, that puts the nail in the coffin.
A clinic in terms of how to play with the lead right there.
To the inside, out of bounds, Orlando takes possession.
Where was he going with that pass? I mean, that's just an awful turnover.
58 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Now Price. Dedmon. He's guarded by Sims. They get a hand on it. Stolen by Anderson. And now here comes Williams leading the break. And good on the basket. Book it.
Boy, he is a strong finisher on the fast break.
Yeah, he sure is. He remains in total control, even at full speed. I love that about him.
Price kicks to Harkless. There's 25 seconds left in the 4th quarter of this one. Shot clock at 6. Down low. And he converts the layup. And the Magic lead by 20.
Boy, they're extending their lead. It kind of feels like they're just piling on here as we come to an end.
Well, hey, let's just call it what it is. They are trying to run it up on them.
Here's Mr. Clutch. From outside, off the mark. Here's O'Quinn. And so it's Orlando taking this one by a big margin. Some days.
Gentlemen, standing here with Jameer Nelson. And what were the elements, Jameer, that helped contribute to this win?